I think very early on I understood that the courts would be our, well, it's funny, I would use this word, our savior in our fight for our rights. That at the end of the day, surely the legal system would stand up for us. But also, the legislative track is also so important because it happens as a result of changing people's minds and changing people's hearts. And so we have both the court system and the legislative track that we are working on. And I don't care who wins the race. It's not a contest, except that one or the other, or perhaps both, will win our full rights for us. But both the law and the legislation follows public opinion. And like it or not, public opinion is shaped and affected by religion. Now, I'm the first to admit that 95%, that's my figure, 95% of all the discrimination and pain that we have experienced as LGBT people has come at the hands of religious people. And it is time for that to change. I think it is getting changed. We religious people have let the religious right hijack and hold hostage the Bible. We have let the religious right define this debate. And it's time we took it back. One of the things that I think religious people can do is to make the argument about the separation of church and state. When someone outside the church or synagogue or mosque makes that argument, it sounds like an attack. But when those of us who are inside those institutions make it, I think it gets heard more. And what we have in the marriage debate is really the reverse of what we normally expect. Normally, religious people argue for the separation of church and state because we don't want the state telling us how to operate our own religion. So how does religion get to tell the state, the secular state, who gets married and who doesn't? And it's time we separated those two. You can't have it both ways. If you want church and state separated, they have to be separated. And of course, this has all gotten very confused in America, where clergy of all stripes are serving as agents of the state. And so when someone goes to a wedding, they don't know where the civil part begins and ends and where the religious part begins and ends. And so to that end, in my own diocese of New Hampshire, I have asked clergy to get out of the marriage business, because the church is in the blessing business, not the marriage business. And so I have suggested to my clergy that they either find someone already in their congregation or select someone who will become a justice of the peace. And let the state do what the state does, which is marriage. And then, much as happens in France, those who are religious then will go on to a religious service of some sort for the church or the synagogue or the mosque's blessing on that marriage. I think it would do a lot to disentangle this, and certainly in our fight in New Hampshire for marriage equality, we actually got some votes of some people who were not all that for it, but who got that notion that no religion should be telling the secular state how to define itself. The fact of the matter is that religion often gets it wrong. God never gets it wrong, but religion does. We got it wrong about slavery for how many centuries? And And we've gotten it wrong about women for so long, and some religions still do get it wrong about women. But we're beginning to get it right. And one of the things that I want to say to you tonight, especially if you're not religious, is don't write us off. I think a case can be made that had the effort to turn back Prop 8 in California, if that effort had not written off progressive religious voices, the outcome might have been different. And you may not like the role that religion plays, but if you ignore the fact that it does play a role, then that naivete is going to cost us. And I am telling you that there are more and more and more people every day, Christians, Jews, Muslims, and people of other religions, who can be counted on to stand up for us. And so I really urge us all to understand that there actually might be religious allies in this fight for equality for all.